The surprising truth about leaving after you shine: Stoicism and personal power. The greatest revenge is not about seeking vengeance, but about rising above the ashes of what others thought you couldn't achieve. Let's get real, my friends. They thought it would be easy to walk away from you, to replace you like a worn-out shirt. But life doesn't work that way. People don't regret leaving when you beg them to stay. They regret it when they realize they've lost the best thing they ever had. And by the time they come to that realization, you'll be so far ahead, they won't even be able to reach you. Before we dive in, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe. Not for me, but for yourself, because today we're not just talking about moving on, we're talking about transforming your pain into power. Stay with me, and let's start with a fundamental truth. Say it with me, loud and clear. You will regret leaving me. This isn't just a phrase, it's a mindset shift. As the saying goes, what you think, you become. And that's exactly what we're doing right now, claiming our power, setting the stage for what's to come. So, prove to me you're here from the start. Go to the comments and type it out. You will regret leaving me. Let's make it real, let's make it known. This isn't for them, it's for you. Every step you take in reclaiming your power starts with a choice, and this is yours. Imagine this. You're a rare, one-of-a-kind masterpiece. At first, they admire you, appreciate your beauty, but over time, they take you for granted. They think they can always find something better, so they leave you behind, searching for something shinier, newer. But here's the truth. The world is full of cheap prints, not masterpieces. And one day, they realize it. They see that nothing else has the same depth, the same value, the same soul. But by then, you're hanging in a gallery where they can't afford the price of admission. That's what we're doing here today. Turning you into something priceless, not to get them back, not to make them jealous, but to become the kind of person they can't forget, even if they tried. Have you ever noticed how people only appreciate the sun once it sets? They only feel the weight of your absence when the warmth is gone. That's the game they played. They thought you'd always be there, shining just for them. But now, you step back and suddenly, their world feels colder. As the great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself?" This is the moment. Not next week, not someday, right now. You don't get revenge by sulking. You don't make them regret leaving by chasing them. You do it by becoming so self-sufficient, so unshaken, that they look back and realize they lost something irreplaceable. Most people think heartbreak is an ending, but what if it's a beginning? What if the pain they left you with wasn't a curse, but a forge, a fire that burns away the weak parts of you, leaving behind something stronger, sharper, unbreakable? While they're out there chasing temporary highs, you're leveling up, mind, body, and soul. And one day, they'll look at you, thriving, untouchable, living your best life without them, and that's when it will hit them. They messed up. Not in a trivial sense, nor in a hesitant, maybe I should reach out to them kind of way, but in a profound, heart-wrenching manner that feels like I've discarded the most precious thing I ever possessed. However, here's the twist. By that point, you may find that you no longer care, because this journey is no longer about them. It's about you. It's about embracing your own strength. Today, we are going to explore 10 Stoic principles that can transform your mindset, rebuild your self-confidence, and make you truly unforgettable. But first, I invite you to comment with these 4 words: I will rise above. And while you're at it, please hit that like button and subscribe, not because I'm asking you to, but because taking even small steps is a powerful way to reclaim your strength. Take a deep breath, and let's dive in. Number 1. Stop chasing shadows. Let them miss the sunlight. The moment you feel compelled to prove your worth to someone is the exact moment you should consider walking away. Let's discuss one of the most significant misconceptions we've been led to believe, that if we just try hard enough, if we demonstrate how much we care, they will return. We think that by pursuing them, they will suddenly recognize our value. But here's the harsh reality. Chasing after someone who has left is akin to trying to grasp smoke. It slips through your fingers, leaving you with nothing but a sense of emptiness. Imagine this. a rare diamond displayed in a showcase, untouched. It doesn't plead for attention, it doesn't shout for recognition. It simply exists, exuding value. In contrast, cheap trinkets gather dust in bargain bins, desperately seeking someone to pick them up. Now, reflect on this. Which one are you embodying? Are you acting like a priceless gem that others regret overlooking, or are you a desperate discount item waiting for anyone to take you home? When you pursue someone, you inadvertently communicate that they made the right choice in leaving. You convey that your worth is negotiable, that you are willing to shrink, bend, and plead for just one more chance. But let me pose this question. If they truly valued you, would they have walked away in the first place? If they genuinely recognized your worth, would you even need to remind them of it? I understand your concerns. You might be thinking, what if I don't chase them and they forget me? What if they never return? That's the fear speaking, the part of you that clings to the illusion that love is something you must fight for. However, real love, genuine value, does not require convincing, pleading, or sacrificing your dignity just to keep someone in your life. Here's a powerful truth. People who are truly strong only come to appreciate what they have lost. The more available you are, the less valuable you appear. The more you chase, the quicker they run away. It's only when you stop that they begin to wonder. Consider this. When was the last time you genuinely appreciated the air you breathe? You take it in every moment without a second thought, but the instant it's taken away, you panic. You realize how much you need it. That's how absence operates, and that's how regret develops. We've been conditioned to think that if someone leaves, it signifies that we weren't good enough, that we must prove our worth, remind them of what they lost, and fight to remain in their thoughts. But here's the truth. They didn't leave because you weren't enough. They left because they believed they could find something better. The only way they will come to recognize their mistake is when they see you thriving without them, not by chasing after them, not by begging, but by stepping into your own power. Have you ever wondered what truly causes people to feel regret after losing someone? It's not merely the tears shed, the late-night messages sent, or the frantic efforts to maintain a connection. The real source of regret lies in witnessing your progress, as if they never played a role in your life. It's the painful realization that while they were out seeking something better, you transformed into someone they can never reclaim. Walking away from a loved one is undoubtedly one of the most challenging experiences you will face. Every fiber of your being will urge you to reach out, and every instinct will prompt you to take action to bring them back. However, it's crucial to grasp this concept. Doing nothing is, in fact, a form of action. Allowing them to feel your absence is a powerful strategy. It alters the dynamics of your relationship, compelling them to confront the silence they have created. And believe me, that silence speaks volumes. At this moment, it may seem like they hold all the power, but once you cease your pursuit, that power shifts back to you. You are no longer a desperate option. Instead, they become the one who has lost something precious. When the weight of that realization dawns on them, when they finally recognize that you were the light in their life and they chose to walk away into darkness, that's when regret begins to seep in. They will start to question everything, but by that time, you will have moved on. Now, I encourage you to reclaim your power. Type these 4 words in the comments. I refuse to chase. Let the world witness your declaration, and more importantly, let yourself acknowledge it. You are not a mere option or a second choice, and you are finished pursuing someone who failed to appreciate your worth. Stay with me, because what follows is going to transform everything. Next, let's talk about flipping the script and making them the ones who watch you thrive. When someone walks away, it can feel as though the ground beneath you has crumbled. Everything you built together, your plans, routines, and shared future, suddenly vanishes, leaving you disoriented, much like losing your sense of direction in the vast ocean. One moment, you were confident about your path, and the next, you find yourself lost and unsure of where to turn. But here's a truth that often goes unspoken. This is not the end. It marks the beginning of your true life. Many people perceive a breakup as a loss, clinging to the past, replaying memories, and dissecting what went wrong in an attempt to reconstruct something that is already shattered. However, the reality is that this is not a loss. It is an opportunity, a chance for a fresh start, a blank canvas to create something even more remarkable. Pain has a unique way of revealing what truly matters. When someone leaves, you are faced with a choice. Do you continue to hold on to a life that no longer exists, or do you step forward and forge something so powerful and fulfilling that you hardly recognize the person you once were? Reflect on what you may have been neglecting. Did you set your dreams aside just to keep them content? Did you rearrange your life to accommodate theirs, only to find yourself lost? Many individuals make the mistake of maintaining the same priorities after a breakup, still revolving their lives around someone who has already departed. They wait, they hope, and they linger in the shadows of the past. Now, imagine flipping that narrative. Instead of spending your days wondering if they miss you, you begin to concentrate on your own transformation. Rather than waiting for a text that may never arrive, you reclaim your power and focus on your own growth. Redirect your focus and begin crafting a life so remarkable that regret is no longer something you pursue. Instead, it becomes something you inadvertently create. Imagine this scenario. You are strolling down the street, feeling more robust, self-assured, and vibrant than ever before. You've stopped checking your phone, and the shadows of your past no longer linger over you. You are laughing, thriving, and radiating positivity. Then, unexpectedly, you encounter someone who believed they could walk away and never look back. However, the moment they catch sight of you, something changes within them. A flicker of recognition, a pang of emotion they are reluctant to acknowledge. In that instant, they come to the realization that they have lost something they can never reclaim. The most empowering part? By that time, you won't even care. Now, it's time to affirm to yourself that you are ready to change the narrative. Type these 4 words in the comments. My life comes first. Let the world witness this declaration, and more importantly, let yourself recognize it. You are not merely waiting. You are not chasing after anyone. You are evolving into a better version of yourself. Stay with me, because what's coming next is going to transform everything. Number 3. Ignite your inner spark and let them watch from the sidelines. There is something irresistibly attractive about a person who is fully alive, who moves with intention, and who wakes up each day fueled by a passion that surpasses any relationship. It's that inner fire, that enthusiasm, that undeniable energy that makes you unforgettable. People do not regret leaving someone who remains in the shadows, waiting and hoping. They regret leaving someone who rises above their circumstances, someone who takes their pain and transforms it into motivation. They may have departed thinking they were your entire world, assuming that without them, you would be lost, staring at your phone, drowning in memories, and waiting for the day they might reconsider. But what happens when they look back and see a completely different picture? They see you thriving, moving forward like an unstoppable force, fully engaged in something that ignites your spirit, something far greater than them, something they never anticipated. That's when regret begins to creep in, not because you tried to evoke it, but because you demonstrated, effortlessly, that they were merely a chapter in your story, not the entire book. Consider an artist who once painted solely to gain the approval of one person. Every brushstroke, every hue, every shade was chosen to please that individual. Then, when that person leaves, the artist realizes that their true purpose was never to create for someone else's validation. It was to create out of a genuine love for the craft. The artwork becomes bolder, the colors more vibrant, and the passion more raw and undeniable. One day, the person who walked away sees the masterpiece from afar and realizes that while they left, the artist has evolved into something extraordinary. This is what you are doing now. You are not trying to incite jealousy. You are not posting pictures in hopes they will take notice. You are not pretending to be happy just to make a point. You are becoming so engrossed in your own passion, so invested in your personal growth, that their absence no longer holds any significance. And that is precisely when they will begin to feel the impact, not when you cry, not when you chase after them, and not when you attempt to prove your worth. It will be when they look back and understand that they did not break you. The person they left behind has transformed into someone entirely new. Now, it's time to affirm your readiness to embrace your power. Type these 4 words in the comments. I am unstoppable. Let the world see this declaration, and more importantly, let yourself recognize it. You are not waiting. You are not looking back. You are becoming. Stay with me, because what's coming next is going to shift everything. Number 4. Embrace the power of silence. The most powerful statement you can make is no statement at all. When someone walks away, the instinct is to talk, explain, and seek closure. However, the real power lies in silence. In a world where everyone is constantly talking, silence is rare and holds immense power. Just like how we notice the absence of noise when a TV suddenly goes quiet, your silence can make others truly feel your absence. It forces them to confront unexpected emotions like loss and regret. Silence is impossible to ignore. It lingers, creates questions, and sparks reflection. By not chasing, by letting go without explanation, you shift the power dynamics. When you hold your silence unshaken, they start to feel the weight of their choices. Memories alone are not enough. Silence brings closure, not just for them, but for you. It's about setting yourself free, proving your worth without needing validation from those who left. Embracing silence makes you untouchable. The moment of realization is a powerful thing. It's the instant when someone who thought they'd left you behind comes to understand that, in reality, they've lost you forever. If you're ready to reclaim your power and take control of your life, it's time to make a statement. Go to the comments and type these 4 words. I choose silence now. Let the world see it, and more importantly, let yourself see it. Today marks the day you stop chasing validation, stop explaining yourself, and let your silence speak volumes. Stay with me, because what's coming next is going to be a game changer. Number 5. Rise so high that their regret becomes unbearable. There's no greater pain than watching someone you underestimated flourish and succeed beyond your wildest dreams. When they walked away, they thought they were leaving behind something ordinary, something that could be easily replaced. But what happens when they look back and realize they were wrong? What happens when they see that instead of breaking you, their absence refined you, forced you to dig deep, and evolve into someone stronger than they ever imagined? This isn't about seeking revenge or proving a point to them. It's about proving to yourself that you're capable of overcoming any obstacle. Their absence didn't destroy you. It made you stronger. Think of it like a tree. They thought they'd cut you down, but instead, your roots grew deeper, your branches stretched wider, and now you stand taller than ever. Let that image sink in. They thought they were leaving behind a moment, but in reality, they left behind a movement. This is the truth they never saw coming. The version of you they walked away from no longer exists. In your place stands someone unstoppable, someone unshaken, someone they no longer deserve to know. I know some of you might be thinking, but what if I don't feel successful yet? What if I'm still struggling? That's okay. It means you're in the process. You're still in the forge. Every masterpiece starts as raw material, and every diamond was once just a rock. It's the pressure, the fire, and the struggle that transform it into something priceless. So, if you're in the fire right now, embrace it. Let it shape you. Let it carve out the strength you never knew you had. Because one day, they'll look back, and the regret will hit them like a wave, unstoppable, undeniable, and completely their fault. Success isn't about showing off or making others jealous. It's about creating a life that's so full, so powerful, and so undeniably yours that their regret becomes their burden to carry, not yours. Imagine them scrolling through their phone one night, feeling empty and unfulfilled, and then they see you. Not waiting, not hoping, just thriving, living your best life, smiling like they never existed. That's the moment it all crashes down on them. The regret, the what-ifs, the realization that they lost something they can never get back. But by then, you won't even flinch, because you'll have already moved on. Not with someone else, not with distractions, but with purpose, with a life that's too big for the small mindsets of those who couldn't see your worth when they had the chance. And that's the greatest feeling in the world. Not that they regret leaving, but that you don't regret them leaving. Now, prove to yourself that you're stepping into this power. Type these 4 words in the comments. I will rise above. Let the world witness your journey, and let yourself see the transformation, because the ultimate form of retribution isn't revenge. It's achieving success, finding inner peace, and evolving into a person they can only admire from afar. Once you've closed the door behind you, it remains locked, and moving forward with me will bring about significant changes. One crucial step is to stop settling and make them realize they never truly deserved you. Never lower your standards for anyone who refuses to meet yours. When someone leaves, the initial thought that often sneaks in is, was I not enough? Your mind might trick you into believing that if you had been different, softer, quieter, easier to please, perhaps they would have stayed, perhaps they wouldn't have replaced you so quickly, or perhaps they wouldn't act as if you never mattered. But let's set the record straight. It was never about you not being enough. It was about them not being worthy of the value you brought to the relationship. Many people, when faced with rejection, make the same mistake. They lower their standards. They shrink themselves, thinking that by being less, they'll become more desirable. They believe that if they accept less, tolerate more, and compromise further, they won't have to feel the painful emptiness of someone walking away. However, the truth is that the moment you elevate your standards, the world has to rise to meet you. That's when everything changes. Imagine a high-end watch store. Do they beg customers to buy? Do they offer discounts to convince people of their worth? No, they stand firm, knowing their value. Those who recognize quality come willingly, and those who don't simply walk away, and the store doesn't bat an eye. You must adopt the same mindset. Stop negotiating your worth. Stop making space for people who only give you half of what you deserve, and stop thinking that love means bending until you break. You were never meant to be an option, a second choice, or someone who settles. If they couldn't see your worth, that's their loss. If they couldn't match your energy, they were never meant to be in your life to begin with. Here's what happens when you raise your standards. The people who took you for granted start to notice. They assumed you'd always be there, always available, always willing to compromise and wait. But now, you're out of reach, and that's when regret starts to creep in. They realize the version of you they once had access to no longer exists. People only value what they can't have. The restaurant with the long wait list always seems better than the one with empty tables. The exclusive event everyone's trying to get into suddenly becomes the most desirable place to be. But the moment something feels too easy or too available, it loses its value. That's why the ones who walked away will only start to realize what they lost when they see that you're no longer within reach, when they see you thriving without them. Raising your standards isn't just about making them regret losing you. It's about making yourself so untouchable that their regret doesn't even matter anymore. I know it's hard, and it might feel easier to just settle, to let them back in, to hold on to any bit of connection rather than face the sting of loneliness. But would you rather sit at an empty table waiting for crumbs, or build a feast so abundant that those who once ignored you now wish they had a seat? This is your time, the moment you take control and decide that you will no longer wait to be selected by others. Instead, you are choosing yourself. Now, let's make it clear. Type these 4 words in the comments below. I refuse to settle. Let the world witness this declaration, and more importantly, let yourself acknowledge it. You have reached a point where you will no longer lower your standards for individuals who never truly deserved your presence in the first place. Stay with me, because what follows is going to transform everything. Let's talk about the concept of disappearing like smoke. Allow silence to linger and haunt those who have taken you for granted. As the philosopher Seneca once said, "He who is everywhere is nowhere." We inhabit a world that is perpetually noisy, filled with notifications, messages, and an unending stream of chatter. Everyone seems to be in a constant state of reaching out, explaining themselves, and striving to be heard. When someone exits your life, Your initial reaction might be to do the same, to reach out, seek closure, and make them understand what they have lost. But what if you chose to do the opposite? What if, instead of pursuing them, you simply vanished? Imagine allowing silence to speak for itself. People often anticipate a reaction. They expect messages filled with hurt, anger, or longing. They might look for late-night calls or subtle social media posts that hint at your continued existence. But when none of that happens, when the line of communication goes completely silent, it compels them to confront feelings they never anticipated: your absence. And absence is a formidable force. Most individuals don't miss you solely because of your presence. They miss the space you once occupied in their lives. They miss the good morning texts, the late-night conversations, and the way you were always there, always available. They took it for granted, assuming you would always be just a message away. But then, suddenly you're gone. No texts, no calls, no reminders of your existence, just silence. And that silence begins to work on them. It lingers in their minds like a catchy tune they can't shake off, transforming into questions they never thought they would ask. Did I mean less to them than I believed? Why haven't they reached out? Have they already moved on? They were expecting closure from you. They anticipated that you would plead, explain, or react. As long as you were responding, they felt they still had a grip on you, allowing them to walk away without truly losing anything. But when they are met with nothing but silence, that comfort dissipates. Instead of being distracted by your emotions, they are forced to confront their own choices and the reality that they may have let go of something they can never reclaim. Silence acts as a mirror, reflecting everything they were previously too blind to see. If you doubt this, consider this. Have you ever sent a message to someone and received no reply? How did that feel? As the silence stretched on, it became increasingly deafening. That one unanswered text suddenly felt heavier than 1,000 spoken words. You began to wonder, to question, and to overthink. This is precisely what occurs when you choose to go silent on someone who expected to have perpetual access to you. Silence generates mystery, and mystery breeds curiosity. The more they ponder about you, the more you occupy their thoughts. As they remain enveloped in uncertainty, feelings of regret begin to seep in. People often believe that words hold power, but when overused, words can lose their impact. The more you try to explain yourself, the less they pay attention. The more you attempt to make them understand, the more they tune you out. However, silence is something that cannot be ignored. Think of it like this. Imagine reading a book that leaves you hanging at the end, or watching a film that abruptly fades to black just before the climax. This feeling of frustration, that nagging curiosity about what happens next, is what drives people to become fixated on a situation. When someone starts to ponder your absence, the dynamics shift. You are no longer the one in pursuit of answers, they are. However, let's be honest. Resisting the urge to break the silence won't be easy. Every fiber of your being may urge you to send that final text, to check if they've noticed you're gone, or to see if they're beginning to regret their choice. But here's the crucial point. Don't do it. The moment you reach out, you reset the entire scenario. You allow them to escape accountability, providing them with the reassurance they were waiting for, the confirmation that they still have an impact on you. Instead, let them experience the silence they've created. Allow them to understand what life is like without your presence. Trust me, there will come a day when that silence becomes overwhelmingly loud. They will find themselves checking their phones, hoping for a message from you, only to be met with nothing. They might scroll through their social media feeds, searching for any sign of you, and again, they will find silence. They will replay memories in their minds, coming to the painful realization that the person they once had easy access to is now out of reach. That's when the weight of regret will hit them, not gently, but with a deep, gut-wrenching realization of what they've lost. But here's the silver lining. By that time, you won't be affected. While they were preoccupied with thoughts of you, you were busy evolving into a stronger, wiser individual who no longer seeks their validation. Now, it's time to reclaim your power. I encourage you to express this by typing the phrase "silence is my power" in the comments. Let the world witness your transformation. You are not a mere shadow of your past. You are not someone who begs for attention. You have moved beyond the need to justify your worth. Stay with me, because what's coming next is transformative. Number 8. Turn your personal growth into their greatest regret. Nothing stings more than watching someone you've left behind soar to new heights. When they walked away, they likely thought they were leaving behind something mundane, perhaps assuming you would remain stagnant, lost without them. But what happens when they look back and see that you've turned your life into something remarkable? This isn't about seeking revenge or proving anything to them. It's about demonstrating to yourself that you were always capable of achieving more. Their absence didn't shatter you. It fortified you, and now your achievements resonate louder than any words could. Think of it like a tree. They believed they had cut you down, and for a moment, it may have felt that way. But instead of withering away, your roots grew deeper, and your branches extended further. Now, you stand taller than ever, strong, resilient, and unbreakable. That is the essence of true power. People regret leaving not because you tell them they should, but because they witness it firsthand. It's reflected in the way you carry yourself, the way you flourish, and the way you move forward, not just healed, but transformed. Picture this. They come across a photo of you, radiant and joyful, living a life they never imagined you could have without them. Perhaps they hear your name mentioned casually, only to discover that you are thriving more than ever. In that moment, a realization dawns on them. They didn't just lose you. They forfeited the opportunity to be part of the best version of you. Regret isn't something you hand to them. It's an echo that resonates within them. Even after you've moved on, certain thoughts may linger in your mind. However, the most empowering aspect is that by the time they come to understand what they have lost, you will have moved on and will no longer care. To affirm your readiness to rise above, type these 4 words in the comments. I am unstoppable. Let the world witness your declaration, and more importantly, let yourself acknowledge it. You are not in a position of waiting or looking back. You are in the process of becoming your best self. Stay with me, because what follows is going to transform everything. Now, let's talk about the feeling of being out of someone's league, a realization they often come to. When a relationship ends, the initial thought that creeps into your mind is usually the same: was I not enough? The mind can be deceptive, whispering that perhaps if you had been different, softer, quieter, or easier to love, they might have chosen to stay. But here's the reality. It was never about your worthiness. It was about their inability to appreciate what you brought to the relationship. Many people, when faced with rejection, make the mistake of lowering their standards. They start to think, maybe I was asking for too much, or perhaps I should just settle. They might believe that if they show they are willing to do anything to keep the other person, that person will change their mind. However, the moment you begin to think this way, you lose your power. When you start to bend and compromise, you cease to be the person they regret losing. Imagine a luxury store that sells high-end watches. Do they beg customers to make a purchase? Do they offer discounts in hopes that someone will take their products home? No, they maintain their stance, confident that those who recognize quality will come to them willingly. Those who don't appreciate it were never meant to have it in the first place. You must adopt the same mindset. Stop negotiating your worth. Stop entertaining those who only offer you a fraction of what you truly deserve. Stop making room for individuals who treat love as a game of convenience. When you make these changes, everything shifts. Here's what happens. The people who took you for granted will start to notice your absence. They assumed you would always be there, always available, always willing to compromise. But now, you're out of reach. Nothing hurts more than realizing you had access to something extraordinary and let it slip away. They will begin to question themselves. How did I overlook this? How did I let them go? But by the time they come to this realization, the version of you they once knew will have transformed, and the best part is that you won't even be looking back. Now, show me that you are done settling for less. Type these 4 words in the comments. I refuse to settle. Let the world see your declaration, and more importantly, let yourself recognize it. You are not just an option. You are not a second choice. You are the prize. Finally, let's discuss living your life so fully that the absence of someone becomes merely a footnote in your story. When someone departs from your life, it's easy to feel as though they have taken a piece of your happiness with them, leading you to believe that life will never be as bright, fulfilling, or meaningful without them. But let's clarify this. The happiness you experienced was not solely due to them. It was a reflection of you. They were merely a chapter in your narrative, but they were never the author of your joy. Now, you have the opportunity to demonstrate this truth. Individuals who walk away often expect to leave a void behind. They assume their absence will disrupt your life, leaving you lost and stuck in memories, unable to move forward. But you have the power to prove them wrong. Imagine yourself waiting by the phone, scrolling through old photographs, reminiscing about what once was. Now, envision a day when they look back, expecting to find you in a state of despair, only to discover that you have not merely survived in their absence, but have actually flourished. You are not dwelling on the past. Instead, you are fully engaged in life, busy with building, creating, exploring, and growing. You are filling your days with so much purpose that their presence or lack thereof becomes insignificant. This is when the feelings of regret begin to surface for them. They may start to question their importance in your life. Was I ever truly significant to them? Did I even matter? The harsh truth for someone who has walked away is the realization that life did not come to a halt without them. In fact, it has improved. Consider your life as a beautiful masterpiece. Perhaps, at one time, they were a vibrant color in your painting, maybe even the most prominent one. However, they were never the entirety of your artwork. Now you hold the brush, and it is up to you to determine what your canvas will become. This could mean embarking on a new career, relocating to a different city, or seeking out new adventures. It might even be as straightforward as learning to appreciate the silence that once felt overwhelming. Whatever path you choose, make it uniquely yours. When you infuse your life with meaning, you send a powerful message, not only to them but also to yourself and the world. They were never the source of your happiness. You always were. So, let's see your commitment to living life to the fullest. Type these 4 words in the comments. I create my happiness. Let the world witness it and let yourself acknowledge it. You are not looking back. You are not waiting. You are evolving. Stay with me, because what's coming next is going to transform everything. This is your moment, not to dwell on the past, not to wait, but to rise. You are not just an option. You are irreplaceable. You are the treasure, and the best form of revenge is to live so fully that their absence becomes inconsequential. So, keep pushing forward, keep leveling up, and never allow anyone to make you feel inadequate. If this message resonates with you, show some love by hitting that like button, subscribing, and sharing this with someone who needs to hear it. And before you leave, drop a comment saying, I choose myself. Let the world know that you are unstoppable.